In the deserts of the world lie bones, not of animals but of empires. And the more dust you wipe away, the more terrifying the truth becomes. They taught us that civilization began 6,000 years ago, with Egypt, Mesopotamia, and Sumer. But what if that's a lie? What if entire global civilizations existed tens of thousands of years earlier and were deliberately erased? What if your entire sense of history is based on what they wanted you to believe, not what actually happened? Today you're going to see lost cities buried beneath oceans, ruins older than any religion, and ancient maps that show Antarctica without ice, drawn centuries before satellites existed. You'll learn about civilizations with advanced technology, energy systems without wires, and societies that operated on vibration, consciousness, and sound, not money or machines. But the deeper we go, the more dangerous it becomes, because those who erased the past are still watching. So stay with us till the very end, because by the time this video ends, you won't just see history differently, you'll see yourself differently. Part 2, the temple that shouldn't exist. In 1994, on a dusty hill in Turkey, a farmer's plow hit something strange. What he uncovered wasn't a stone, but the tip of a 12,000-year-old truth. A truth that rewrote history, and then was buried again. Beneath that hill lay Göbekli Tepe, a temple more advanced than the pyramids, older than Stonehenge, and built before the invention of writing, the wheel, or farming. But here's the paradox. How did primitive hunter-gatherers, with no tools, no cities, and no civilization, construct something so massive, aligned to stars, carved with precision, and rich in symbolic language? The official answer? We don't know. The real answer? It doesn't fit the story they told you, because Göbekli Tepe proves something terrifying. Advanced civilizations existed at the end of the Ice Age, and someone went to extreme lengths to bury that truth. The entire site was covered, deliberately, as if they wanted it hidden, not destroyed. As if someone knew, if future generations saw this, the lie wouldn't survive. So ask yourself, why does every major ancient site hide more beneath than above? What are we not being told? Stay with us, because what you're about to see in the next segment will shake the foundations of every classroom, every book, and everything you thought you knew about the beginning of man. But Göbekli Tepe is just the first crack in the surface, because coming up next, we dive into underwater ruins off the coasts of India and Japan, cities submerged for 10,000 years. If these were never meant to be found, then who built them, and why did they sink? Part 3. Cities beneath the ocean. Off the western coast of India lies a city, but not on land, underwater. Discovered near Dwarka, it spans several kilometers, with roads, walls, and structures made of massive stone blocks. Estimated age? Over 9,000 years. But here's what's terrifying. The city was only found after a tsunami shifted the seabed. For thousands of years it was invisible, hidden by the ocean, and perhaps hidden on purpose. Mainstream archaeologists dismissed it. Just natural rock formations, they said. But sonar scans showed symmetry, rectangles, grids, staircases, patterns only intelligence can create. Meanwhile, in Japan, off the coast of Yonaguni Island, lies another underwater enigma. Massive stone terraces, carved pillars, and even a pyramid shape. Again, they called it coincidence. But divers found steps, platforms, and symbolic carvings. The site sits 30 meters below sea level, which means it sank over 10,000 years ago, long before any known civilization was supposed to exist. So here's the question. What global event caused these cities to sink? Was it the Great Flood, a myth echoed in almost every ancient culture? Or was it something else? Something the survivors didn't want us to remember. In the next part, we'll examine a 500-year-old map that shows Antarctica without ice, drawn centuries before we had satellites. If no one had seen Antarctica back then, who drew it, and what else did they know? Part 4, the map that shouldn't exist. In 1513, a map was drawn by an Ottoman admiral named Piri Reis. Made on gazelle skin, stitched with precision, this ancient map showed something it never should have: Antarctica, without ice. Remember, Antarctica wasn't officially discovered until 1820, and yet this map, made 3 centuries earlier, shows the exact coastline as if the ice wasn't there. Scientists were stunned. The map wasn't random. It matched modern radar scans of Antarctica's subglacial coastline, the part hidden under 2 kilometers of ice. That kind of data wasn't available until the 20th century. So how did a man in 1513 draw it? Where did his knowledge come from? Piri Reis himself wrote a note on the map. "I did not create this. I copied it from older sources, maps from ancient times." That changes everything, because it means someone long before 1513 had mapped Earth with impossible precision. It suggests there was a global seafaring civilization far more advanced than we're told, and it left behind fragments of knowledge scattered across ancient temples, scrolls, and ruins. But if such a civilization once existed, what happened to it? Why was its knowledge buried, not preserved? In the next part, we uncover one of the most forbidden theories of all, that Earth has been reset multiple times, and each time only a few were allowed to survive, to rebuild and retell history in their image. What if the history you know that is just the last chapter of a much older book? Throughout time, ancient texts, from the Sumerians to the Mayans, from the Quran to the Bible, speak of great floods, fire from the skies, and civilizations that vanished overnight. What if these weren't myths but memories? Scientists now admit Earth has gone through multiple extinction-level events: asteroid impacts, solar flares, pole shifts, and with each reset, humanity was almost wiped out, but not completely. Always a few survived. And those few, they didn't just survive, they rewrote history. These survivors became priests, kings, secret orders. They claimed divine knowledge, but it wasn't divine. It was remembered. And they used it to build new empires, to control the masses, and to make sure you never remember what came before. Every time Earth was reset, a new story began. Not for freedom, but for control. In the next part, we'll explore the ruins and secrets of those who survived the resets, and how they designed entire civilizations based on the same symbols, from Egypt to Babylon to Washington, D.C. Because once you recognize the pattern, you can never unsee it. Part 6, one symbol to rule them all. Look closely at the symbols carved into ancient Egyptian temples: the eye, the pyramid, the sun disk. Now look at the back of your US dollar bill. Same eye, same pyramid, same positioning. Coincidence? Or continuity? These aren't just decorations. They are codes, designed to carry power through time. Every empire that rose used them. Babylon, Rome, the Vatican, the United States. Because symbols bypass the mind and go straight to the subconscious. In DC, government buildings mirror Roman temples. Obelisks from Egypt stand tall in city centers. Even the layout of capitals like Paris, London, and Washington are based on sacred geometry, not practicality. These cities weren't just built, they were designed to control. In the next part, we'll explore who created these symbols, and how a secret order has preserved and passed them down through bloodlines, oaths, and silent power. Part 7, the bloodlines that never let go. Behind every king, every president, every revolution, there's always a shadow, and in that shadow, a hand that never changes. Different faces, same blood. These are not elected leaders. They are inherited controllers, descendants of ancient priest kings who kept power not by force, but through symbols, knowledge, and secrecy. From the pharaohs to the Merovingians, from the Knights Templar to the Freemasons, knowledge wasn't just kept, it was weaponized. Secret rites, blood pacts, sacred geometry embedded in architecture, codes hidden in holy books, power encrypted and passed down. You thought the crown held power? No. It's the one who places the crown and who truly rules. And they've stayed invisible by design, hidden behind institutions, behind democracy, behind religion, but always in control. In the next part, we reveal how this hidden bloodline network has influenced world wars, financial collapses, and even the rise of modern technology. They didn't adapt to change, they caused it. Part 8. The new weapon isn't guns, it's belief. They realized long ago, you don't need an army to conquer the world, you just need to own the narrative. And so they bought the printing presses, then the newspapers, then the radio stations, then TV, and finally, your screen. With every new device, the message got faster, the emotion got stronger, and your thoughts got less yours. News is no longer information, it's programming. And they didn't stop at media. They built the banks. They created debt-based currency. They made sure you worked to stay tired and stay too tired to question. That's not an accident. It's engineering. In the next part, we'll expose how they plan to take this even further, turning every human into a data unit, tracked, rated, and assigned a value. Because when you're no longer a soul, but a number, control becomes total. Part 9. Turning souls into scores. Imagine a world where every move you make, every word you say, every friend you keep is recorded, rated, and judged, not by law, not by God, but by a system. In China, it's already real. The social credit system assigns citizens a score based on behavior, loyalty, opinions. If your score drops, you can't travel, you can't get a loan, you can't even order a train ticket. And now, the same model is spreading into Europe, into the US, cloaked as safety, convenience, progress. But behind that mask is the death of freedom. In the next part, we'll reveal the ultimate goal of this system, a world where no one is private and where obedience is the only form of survival. Because if they can rate your soul, they already own it. Part 10. The last door they can't lock. They can score your face, they can track your steps, they can program your mind, but there's one thing they can't touch: your choice. Not the programmed one, the real one. The one that comes from deep silence. The kind that shatters illusions. The system was never built to be escaped. It was built to keep you asleep, distracted, entertained, busy, obedient. That's why those who awaken suffer first. Loneliness, isolation, rejection. But they also find something more powerful: the truth that frees. The first step isn't protest, it isn't escape, it's self-mastery. When you learn to control your own desires, no one else can. That's why the ancients trained in silence. That's why they endured exile. That's why they became kings in the unseen. Now you've seen the system, you've seen the chains, you've seen the mask of progress, and the teeth behind the smile. But now the choice is yours. Stay plugged in, or walk the long road of awakening. And if you're ready, comment below. I choose the silent crown, twice, to lock it in, to begin your rebellion.